You're listening to the legendary podcaster, the one, the only, T-Jam D. Your personal favorite, and the show you've been waiting for. Probably Offensive.
Welcome to Probably Offensive. I am your host, Anthony Scott Dover. Welcome to a new episode, the next episode, and start the show off. I'm going to do what I normally do, and that is take you to your COVID-19 update. A lot is going on in the country right now, but as long as we're under this pandemic until it either dies down or we get a vaccine for it and go on about our normal lives, I'll come in and give you an update on where it is. So for right now, where we are with the pandemic is we have surpassed 2.2 million cases. We are over 2 million cases and 120,000 reported deaths from COVID-19. As I've stated on previous episodes, that the country is starting to reopen. We cannot keep the economy locked down, even though the virus is starting to. There are surges in the reported cases. Texas, Oklahoma, Florida. Their cases are exploding for coronavirus. So, but we still have to open up the country. People have to get out of the house, go back to work. You're going to lose your $600. Those of you who have the $600 add-on to your unemployment benefits. So, regardless of what the virus is doing, at some point, we still have to go out and go back to work. We've delayed the spread. Pretty much is what happened with the stay-home orders. I'm not saying I disagreed with them. I agreed with them, but I don't think they were strict enough. I think we needed to get everybody staying home for 2 weeks, except for people who absolutely needed to be at work, maybe the police, so they can kill a few more people. Hospital medical professionals obviously had to go to work. They should have limited even them, and everybody should have just stayed home all at once for 2 weeks. And that's something that's unrealistic. You're not going to be able to get that done. You get people who protested with guns just because they had to stay home. They didn't have any reason to have guns, but they protested with guns. I don't know what they were trying to show, but you wasn't going to get people staying home. So they had shutdown orders for 2 weeks, which pretty much just slowed the transmission of the virus. Now, last night, and first of all, I want to say Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the good fathers out there. Like I say, I only usually say Happy Father's Day to people out there who are good fathers. If you're a deadbeat, then I'm not talking to you. You go on about your business being a deadbeat. And, maybe your kid or somebody will acknowledge you. But happy Father's Day to everybody out there who's a father, and you're trying to be a good father. That's Woohoo! Good. Yay! All right. But happy Juneteenth for anybody who celebrated on Friday. It was Juneteenth. And Juneteenth indicates was the end of slavery. Actually, Juneteenth is when the last of the slaves were freed in Texas. The president freed the slaves 2 years earlier, actually, but they had a civil war. 13 states in the South didn't want to free their slaves. They decided to declare themselves their own country, their own union, called the Confederate States. They erected the Confederate flag, and they went to war against the U.S. 13 states in the South. So it took over 2 years for the last slaves to be freed. And that happened in Texas. One of the Union generals went down to Texas with a bunch of soldiers and told people of Texas, President Lincoln has freed the slaves, so you are obligated to free your slaves immediately. And so that happened on June the 19th. And that's where Juneteenth comes from. Now, the president didn't know about Juneteenth. He had a rally scheduled in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Had a rally scheduled on the 19th, on Friday, but was told about Juneteenth from his staff members, and he didn't know about it. He had never heard about it, and said that he's making Juneteenth famous because nobody had ever heard about it. I beg to differ, Mr. President. I have heard about Juneteenth years ago. It's not something that I usually celebrated, but I knew what it was, and I was glad to find out about it and to understand and know more about the history of this great country we live in. So the president's rally was postponed until Saturday night. And the president was saying that he had over 1 million people who wanted to go to this rally, and they wouldn't be able to get in because, the venue only seated 20,000 people. Then they had another hall that was the overflow. They could get another 10,000 people or so in the overflow. But come to find out that the overflow wasn't needed because there was no 20,000 people in the main arena where this rally for President Trump's campaign was going to be held. The attendants, the fire marshals in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they keep track of how many people are in a building. You get too many people in there, it violates the fire code. So the fire marshal said that only 6,200 people was at this event. So that's funny because the president's constantly overly concerned with how big the crowd is wherever he has an event. And he had bragged that a million people wanted to get in his rally, his what was referred to by the media as a super spreader rally, because The president was encouraging people not to wear masks to come. I don't even know why you want to do that. Why would you want to do that? Why on earth would you want it to discourage people from wearing masks in a pandemic that spreads through the air, gets in your nose and mouth, flows out of your nose and mouth and in air, and gets on other people that way? But anyway, the majority of the people, 99% of the people at this rally didn't wear a mask. There was no social distancing. People was crowded right up together, right next to each other, rubbing on each other. But I think the good thing was that there's only 6,000 people at this rally, and the Trump administration, they've said the reason there's only 6,000 people, actually they said no, that's not true. There was double that, which is a lie. You know, you can count on Tulsa fire marshals to tell you the truth because they don't care how many people was at the rally. Some of them probably are Trump supporters as well, but they're on the job. They're required to tell the truth about what's going on the job. Not everybody's willing to lie about something stupid just to try to be loyal to the president. But in any case, the president staff member said no, it was double 6,000 people. It was 12,000 people. But that's silly. Or what are we, children here? We're arguing about crowd size. It's nonsensical. But anyway, the fire marshal said that there was 6,000 people at this rally. So even though it was a super spreader event, meaning all the people rubbing up against each other, bumping into each other, screaming and hollering, yay, ha ha, woo, all right, Mr. President, there's only 6,000 people, so they're not going to spread it nearly as bad as it would have been if there was 20,000 people, all of them mingling and hooting and hollering together and passing a 40 bottle around, or probably Natural Light, whatever it is. But anyway, there's only 6,000 people, so it won't be spreading quite as bad when all these people go home. That was the fear, is that you all get together, the virus spreads throughout the crowd, then you all take it home and spread it back in your own communities wherever you're from. So they had the rally, in the rally, by the way, one of the president's lines was that he has told his people to slow the testing down. And I'm thinking, what? Why would you say that? Why on earth would you tell your staff members to slow the testing? We need more testing. We need to triple the testing so we can find out exactly how many people have this virus. Okay? And how many people have gotten over it, who are immune to it by now. That's what we need to find out. He's afraid of the numbers going up. Like the more testing you do, the more the numbers go. Yes, but it's not about you, okay? It's not about your re-election chances. It's about human beings in the country and trying to do what you need to do to keep them safe. So that's what's been happening. The rally, not as big as what the president said it would be, which is funny.